Hey everyone. First, I wanted to thank ECC for letting me do this remotely. I apologize for not being able to be there in person. My name is Ryan Gittleson, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Virtue Poker. And my presentation today is about trust and transparency in online gaming, with a specific focus on poker. So to begin, I'm going to tell the story of the rise of online poker through the lens of a hypothetical recreational poker player named Joe Poker. He hails from Canada. He's about 34 years old. Unfortunately, he's generally a net loser when he plays online, and he generally plays 5 to 6 times per month for entertainment purposes. And the years he was active was from 2003 to 2015. In 2003, online poker ignited when an unknown accountant named Chris Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker main event for $2.5 million after winning his $10,000 entry fee via an $86 buy-in in an online tournament on PokerStars. As you can see, this ignited poker, especially within the World Series of Poker, with entrants in the event going up tenfold over the next couple of years. Millions of poker players around the world, including players like Joe Poker, decided to give it a shot and created accounts on these sites to try to win big. What this led to was millions and tens of millions of dollars of players' deposits being spread across a small number of sites. All of these funds were held in trust by these operators who were largely unregulated during this time, and players were more than happy to send each of these sites money transfers because they wanted a shot to win big. And then the first scandal hit online poker. In 2007, it was discovered by players themselves that there was a super user who was winning around 14 standard deviations above the mean. This player was essentially unbeatable over the course of 3 years and was repeatedly reported to Absolute Poker and Ultimate Bet and was ignored for the longest amount of time. Finally, the sites decided to do a bit of due diligence and figured out that a company insider had hacked their software and gained access to a master account that allowed him and his co-conspirators to view all players' cards on the platform. Over the course of the 3-year scandal, $15 million worth of player funds were stolen by these co-conspirators. And then over the course of the next 5 years, a series of unfortunate events led to a significant distrust in online poker. First, the UIGEA was passed in 2006, which made it illegal for any operator to process payments in relation to online gambling activity. And in 2011, the Department of Justice shut down the 3 largest operators, Full Tilt, PokerStars, and Absolute Bet. And when they seized the assets of Full Tilt, they discovered that $350 million worth of player deposits were actually used for operational expenses by the company. Essentially, the operator was commingling player deposits with their operational funds. Joe Poker essentially logged on at this time and found out that he was locked out of his account and he couldn't access his money. Then over the course of the next few years, there was a rise of third-party softwares. So there were things like heads-up displays, session lords, SharkScope, and then there were automated programs, bots, playing online. Joe realized essentially that he was being bum hunted by professional players who knew his exact skill level and his playing behavior. So the Joe Pokers of the world decided to quit online poker because he doesn't trust the sites that he plays on. Online poker is broken. In order for the global poker economy to grow, the following function must be true. Net deposits must be greater than rake plus withdrawals. This model requires a constant supply of redeposits to survive. Professional players have a net positive on their withdrawals, while recreational players generally have a net positive on deposits, creating balance in the ecosystem. But unfortunately, in recent times, semi-professionals and professionals are winning at higher rates than recreational players are depositing, creating a strain on this poker economy. So what's the problem? How can we get Joe Pokers of the world back playing online? Well, the problem is recreational players don't trust online poker. There's centralized storage of player deposits. There's non-transparent random number generators that are used to shuffle the deck of cards on the platform. And there's all of these unfair third-party tools. So that's where we come in. So what is Virtue Poker? We were incubated beginning in 2015 and from Consensus, and we employ a peer-to-peer card shuffling protocol that involves all players seated at a virtual table online and shuffling the deck of cards for each hand played on the platform. We offer transparent payments, with all payments being done through a combination of mainnet Ethereum smart contracts and our own deployed sidechain. And on our platform, players are always in control of our funds. Our vision. So our goal is to remove player deposit risk, solve the trust issue regarding gameplay, and create a fair and balanced poker network. Our ultimate goal is to get the dormant Joe Pokers of the world back playing online. So how do we work? So the way that we remove player deposit risk is players fund their own digital wallets and send buy-ins to Ethereum mainnet contracts that then are forwarded to our own sidechain. Players then buy into each individual table by sending their buy-in to a smart contract on the Virtue Poker sidechain, which holds the funds in escrow while the game is being played. Each individual table contract has its own custom parameters: the buy-in amount, the number of players, the payout percentages, and the game rules. We employ a mental poker protocol for shuffling on the platform. So this is done fully peer-to-peer. There's no centralized random number generator or server involved in the process. And the way it works is the following. So let's say we have 3 players playing online: Bob, Alice, and Joe. And Bob is the dealer. He starts with a deck of cards. He shuffles them, and this only happens on his computer. No one else can see it. He then encrypts the deck. He passes the deck to Alice, who does the same thing, shuffles the deck and encrypts the deck. Alice then passes the deck to Joe, who does the same thing, shuffle the deck and encrypt the deck. The deck is now in its final ordered state, 1 through 52. Bob removes the shuffle encryption key that he just placed on each individual card and replaces a new encryption key unique to each card. You can think of this as B1, B2, B3, all the way to B52. He passes the deck to Alice, who does the same thing, encrypts each individual card with her own key. Alice then passes the deck to Joe, who does the same thing. So each individual card, as you can see here, is encrypted by each player. So how do each player see their cards? Well, Bob possesses the keys to his own cards, but no one else's. So Alice shares keys corresponding to Bob's cards. So think of it as Bob is the number of cards 1 and 4 in the deck. Alice passes, or 1 and 2 in the deck. Alice passes A1 and A2 over to Bob, and Joe passes J1 and J2, so that Bob can see his cards and no one else. And vice versa. Each player does this with each other. All players share their keys for community cards so that everyone can see them. And this process continues until the end of the hand, where the result is then reported to the smart contract on our sidechain. So where did we come from and where are we going? So we originally started in November of 2015 out of Consensus. The first couple of years was mostly prototyping, but we completed our first token sale in May of 2018. We raised $18.5 million in our first token sale. We then partnered with 3 of the world's most famous pros, including Brian Rast, who's won 4 World Series of Poker bracelets, Phil Ivey, who's won 10 World Series of Poker bracelets, and Dan Coleman, who's won 1 World Series of Poker bracelet. We launched a private beta in May of 2019 with about 2,000 players, and we had about 500,000 hands played. And more recently, in November of 2019, we launched an open beta and have had over 3,000 players compete and over 1.5 million hands played. We submitted our gaming license application to the Malta Gaming Authority and are expected to complete the licensing process by late spring of this year. And our real money launch is to follow. So our announcement is this is our final round of beta. So while we've been in beta, the app is free to play and we give away crypto prizes. So just by logging on, registering an account and participating, you can A, see how we work, and B, compete for over 300 Ether worth of prizes, 5 million VPP. We're going to give away 1 World Series of Poker main event entry worth over $10,000. We are going to buy Phil Ivey into one of the largest tournaments in Europe, in May, the Triton Montenegro tournament, and we're going to give away our piece of his action to one of our players. And in addition, just by participating and playing and helping us test the software over the next couple months, we're going to give every single player a real money bankroll that you can unlock and play when we go to mainnet, which is expected to be early summer. So I know I went quick here. I would have loved to have answered a lot of your questions. But if you want to get involved, you can download the app and play as of today at virtue.poker. You can join our community on Twitter or join our Telegram. And if you have any questions, again, sorry I couldn't be there in person, but you can contact me at ryan@virtue.poker for any follow-ups, partnership opportunities, anything like that. We're always open to opportunities. And I know I went very quickly here, but thank you guys for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed Paris. Stay safe, and thank you very much.
So we're gonna have a talk in 10 minutes with